none other than Dr. Punna Wong. Okay, a short introduction of our Dr. Punna. He's over 2 decades. He has a living talk in, of course, in Malaysia, Manila, even Indonesia, as well as Ho Chi Minh City. Okay. So today we are very privileged to have him here to share with us the topic by the name of the filial piety. All right. For now, here is a very different today is because we have a live Facebook now. Now you think that, I should have invited my children here. Okay, I should have invited my grandchildren to hear his talk. Mo Mantai, go to Ariya Vihara Facebook now and ask them to log in now. Okay, then the talk will be live in Ariya Vihara's Facebook as well as Dr. Punna's he has founded this Net Buddhist Fellowship. So this is going to be broadcast live now. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to have Dr. Punna. Okay, I'm supposed to keep talking. Okay, here to share with us this filial piety. Now, I myself, my late boss, which is a founder, is a prominent businessman. He once told me this: a person who is filial will never fail in his life. And I think I resonate this. And today I'm so glad that when Dr. Punna sent us a message on this topic, I said, wow, it's interesting. Because that businessman actually told me, because he's mentoring me, a filial child will never fail in his life, in the life. So, and also, whose children here is in overseas? Can I have a show of hands? Okay, the next question. Whose kids, children are in KL but not staying with you? Anyone? Why am I saying this? Because my tenant actually has a house but not staying with their parents. Oh, I was just feeling very, funny in a sense. Yeah, so to know more later, Dr. Punna is going to share with us, the significance of being filial. Okay? Dr. Punna? Okay, we are ready. So once again, a very warm welcome, and I'd like to have Dr. Punna to share his sharing.
Testing. Alex, the stream is okay? Okay. Can you help me put the slide? Alright, good morning, or good noon rather. And I'm very glad to be able to come here and contribute. Okay. Now, today I am happy to share with you on filial piety. And a lot of time when people talk about filial piety, people tend to think that, it's very much Chinese culture or it's very much Confucianism. But within the Buddhist teachings, actually there are lots of teachings on filial piety. It is not just Confucianism or Chinese culture. And today I'll take you through a journey through the Nikayas, the earliest documents of the Buddha's teaching, and show you what did the Buddha teach about filial piety. Next. Hello, brother. Next. Just press the arrow. Yeah. So first and foremost, what is filial piety? Well, I think every one of us in this room does know what is filial piety. We know that it is offering of love, respect to seniors in the family, to the elders in the family, parents, brothers, well, effectively everybody within the extended family. And there are many acts of filial piety. Traditionally, of course, is taking care of them, offering comfort, providing physical and financial needs. But these things are changing with time. Most people, hopefully of my generation, sister's generation, they are financially independent. So with financial independence, the children's treatment of us is not so much now financial, but emotional support, company, etc. Instead of financial support. Next. Now, you know, the Buddha always uses what is in the cultural context of his time when he teaches. So very often you will hear the Buddha talk about, oh, fire, oh, Brahma, because these were the common cultural context of India 2,600 years ago. Fire worshipping is even practiced today, let alone 2,600 years ago. And so it's often that you hear the Buddha use the metaphor of fire when he is teaching, because he's basically speaking in a manner in which the local people could understand what he means. And in the Hindu culture or Indian culture of 2,600 years ago, Brahma was the all-biggie, the creator God. Alright, and there was a young man who actually asked the Buddha, who is my creator? Where is Brahma? And the Buddha answered, you go home. The person who opens the door for you, there, your Brahma, your creator. And of course that's in his own parents. So in this particular teaching here, the Buddha actually asks people to treat your parents like Brahma, like a creator, like a god under inverted commas. Next. In the Brahma Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said, oh, those families where mother and father are worshipped in the home is exactly like what they are doing to Brahma, to the creator. Worthy of offerings dedicated to the gods is a term for your parents, and parents are said to be Brahma, the first teacher. And almost the same teaching is repeated in another sutta in the Itivuttaka. Now the other thing you will often see is that the Buddha very often will associate parents and teachers. Teachers are very honored as parents. Okay? If you go back one slide for me, please. You see Mata Pita Guru Deva. That nothing to do with Buddhism. That's from Indian Vedic teachings, taught to me by an Indian lady who has passed away. And she said in Hindu culture, this is the sequence and order of respect. Mata, Pita, Guru, Deva. Mata is mother, Pita is father. Then comes teacher. And finally only comes gods. Okay? So again you see here that the teachers are recognized almost as equivalent to your parents. Next please. Next. And of course we are mostly Chinese in this home, and we all recognize this. The Chinese word for teacher is literally father. The second word is father. Fu. Okay? And of course in Chinese we say one day your teacher, a lifetime your father. Next please. And supporting one's mother and father is the highest blessing among 38 blessings that the Buddha taught in the Mangala Sutta. In the Mangala Sutta, the Buddha was teaching a group of devas who asked him, what is the highest blessing? The Buddha didn't teach one, the Buddha taught 38. It's literally like a GPS as you start off in life to the end of your life. A sequence of 38 blessings. And one of those blessings is supporting your father and mother. Now this is actually not something many people realize. It's the opposite. It's not that you support your father and your mother are blessed. It is you supporting your father and mother, you are blessed. It's one of the highest blessings. And this word, 教, teaching, educate, 教, it's a very interesting word because it's taught to me by an Wong monk by the name of Wong. And he said, if you look at this word, it's a composite of 4 parts. On the left side, you have the old and the young. The old teach the young prostrate to the old. And the word in combination, as you know, is 孝. 孝顺的孝. On the right side, you see a cane, a hand holding a cane. I am not joking. The etymology of the word is literally a man holding a cane. To teach, you must have discipline. And you must work hard. At the bottom, you see 2 legs. You see the word lead. Might die again. Cordless mice always have this problem. You see the word 女孩子, again you see 2 legs crossing. It means walking, movement, hard work. So you need a discipline and hard work. And the word together is 文, knowledge. The 4 combined is 教, 教育, education, teaching. It's a very interesting word because the Buddha keeps on emphasizing repeatedly in the suttas that your parents are your first teachers. They are worthy of respect. Okay, next. So, how do you repay your parents? Well, in the suttas, in the context of 2,600 years ago, the Buddha said, oh, you must revere them, honor them with food, with drink, with clothes, with bathing, anoint them, bathe them, wash their feet. Washing the feet is a very common thing in the India 2006. You see the Buddha in Diamond Sutra came back from ashram, washed his feet. And that same story is repeated throughout so many sutras. So washing the feet, of course barefoot in a dusty road, is something which we require. But today, 2,600 years later, I would say you give your father and your mother a nice iPhone, give the fellow an iPad, so that at least can Zoom with you. Give them a guitar bed for their mattress, so that they can go up, go down. Firm support, individual support, etc. Times have changed, we have to adapt. Okay? As I said, many of us are now financially independent. We do not need to save any money. Okay? Now my first daughter and second daughter got married. The first daughter got married first. The ceremony, I gave my first son-in-law an antique watch. It was given to me by my father-in-law, Roscott, I remember the name, an antique watch, pocket watch, antique watch. And when the second son-in-law came in the scene, I had no more antique watches, so I could buy one. I also gave him one antique watch. And so people ask, of all the things you can give your in-laws at the wedding, why do you give them a pocket watch? First and foremost, nowadays hardly anybody use pocket watch, right? Why do you give him a pocket watch? I say it's to teach him a lesson. I do not need him to give me money. Of course, if he insists on giving me money, I would say no lah. But I do not need him to give me money. But I need his time. I want him to give me his time. That is what I mean. Okay? Next. So, in the Buddhist teaching of karma, of all the horrible things one can do, like you murder your mother and murder your father, that's the worst. And the Buddha said that is an immediate retribution. You will suffer horribly. But I don't think anyone in this room will do that. You know, you won't be in this room. Those who do it won't come and attend Dhamma talk on all right, sister. So none of you will be in this category. Next. Alright, now in the Nikayas, there are always two qualities that are talked about. One is called Katanu. Katanu is gratefulness or gratitude. Just now I was walking around with my wife. As we walked around, we are supposed to buy the coupon from Angeline and buy dana. But instead, as I walked around, I collected more things because at every other shop, somebody said, hey, Dr. Punna, take this. I said, I need to pay for this. No, this from our store. So I ended up with a few big bags. Katanu. People remember that I taught them during MCO. MCO, all teachings are closed, but we did a lot of online teachings. So the Buddha said, Katanu, this quality which we must remember. And the second one, Katavedina, doing something to repay that gratefulness. Simple gesture. Giving me coffee. Last night I shared at Sentul, this temple at Sentul. He gave me 2 packs of coffee, not knowing that I do not drink coffee. It's alright, they don't know I don't drink coffee. It's alright, it's their gesture which is important. The only reason I don't drink coffee is that if I drink coffee tonight, they will spend the whole night talking with me. Okay, I can't sleep after that. Okay? I like coffee, but I can't drink it. Next, please. So I will always ask people this. All of you here are Buddhists who attended Dhamma classes, etc. What is the first teaching of the Buddha after he became awakened? Yes, almost everybody will say Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the first learning of the wheel. Almost everyone. That's wrong. That's not the first teaching of the Buddha. Because the first teaching of the Buddha is gratitude. The Buddha, after his awakening, immediately paid respect to the Bodhi tree for sheltering him in his quest for awakening. The first teaching is not by words. The first teaching is by action. The Buddha showed his gratitude to the Bodhi tree. And I think that's a lesson we must learn. Okay, I'm told to come stand forward. Next, please. Next, please.
You're on live.
So, now in the Sigala Sutta, which is familiar to most of us, is a teaching by the Buddha to a layman, a young man called Sigala. And he taught this young man what to do for a lot of situations. And one of that context, he taught the young man is, what do you do for your parents? And in this he said, oh, young man, 5 things you must do for your parents. Having supported me, I shall support them. Fine. I shall do their duties. Yes, as you grow older, the couple give more and more of their duties to you. You take control. I shall keep the family tradition. I shall make myself worthy of my inheritance. And I shall offer alms in honor of my departed relatives. And this is very interesting. Your filial piety doesn't extend to the point, say, it even extends beyond that. Even after they are born, you offer alms. Again, let me give you an example. What does this mean? Okay, some years ago, my father-in-law died. His wife very upset. My wife insists we must offer alms on behalf of my father-in-law. So, okay, no problem. I said, so with my connection, I contacted Buddhist Vihara at Greenfields. So the whole clan went together, the brother, the sisters all went together. We offered robes at Buddhist Vihara on behalf of the departed father. That done enough? Huh? The wife said, not enough. One more temple at Sentul. Oh, okay. Call Sentul. Monday, Sarana is so kind. Oh, no problem. You arrange all the money. So I trooped off with my wife and my brother-in-laws and all that. And my brother-in-law said, again. So those of you in this room with daughters, you're very lucky, I'm telling you. The first reaction of my brother-in-law is, again. Okay, never mind. Wife says, okay, you want to go, his choice, but he will go. So off, all right. Offer. But that is not something to be laughed at, because in the Sigalavada Sutta, the Buddha actually said it. You offer alms. They can't do it. You can. They are no longer. This time people bring the photograph and say, my father-in-law has passed away when and when. On his behalf, we would like to offer these robes to the Mahasangha. Okay, once you have more than 5 months, is Mahasangha. Okay, then you want to dedicate merits to him. Well, I'm sure you're off and be dedicate. Okay, that's in the Sigalovada Sutta. So don't say superstition ka or and how many more peoples you want to go, that sort of thing. Alright, it is actually taught by the Buddha. That is one way we show our filial piety. Next, please. Now the Chinese has this peculiar belief that when we die, we are all going to become a ghost. Now, you will become a ghost if you have created the conditions for it. So if you are very, very attached to something, yeah, you probably become a ghost, because the ghost is the only realm in which you can be looking around, in which you are actually physically present, and in which you actually know. So the Chinese are not entirely wrong, because the Chinese are actually quite attached. So that night when I came on Friday, I was all alone in a nice big condominium and I was a bit bored. So of course, Kokoli died. So I opened my computer, I YouTube the songs, and I was sitting there listening to Kokoli sing. And then I told my goddaughter there that I'm listening to Kokoli, and she said, hey, she might be in the room with you, man. Why? No, again, she's not right, because when a person dies with very negative emotions, okay, I mean, you want to kill yourself is a very negative emotion. It's panati patai, no? Killing yourself is panati patai, no? Okay, so when you pass on with very negative emotions, a lot of attachments, say lower, come back and look for him. These are all strong attachments. Alright? You will actually come back in the only realm in which you can come back. That is the ghost. So the Chinese are not wrong in that sense. But let me put it to you this way, you don't have to come back as a ghost. You can always come back as a body. Why not? Much better one. You can fly business class while you're on the thing. Air Asia. Okay? So, when I was in school, I went to a mission school. Very good teachers, highly dedicated. So they will threaten me with hell if I don't believe, and bribe me with heaven if I believe. So one of my teachers, a very wise Indian lady, said, yeah, they will teach you God created you. Now you ask them who created God. And then we start. Do you know that the Buddha answered that question? The Buddha actually answered the question, who created God? Now how many of you here are Hokkiens? Raise your hand. Okay, I'm half. I don't know which half, but I'm half. My mother is Hokkien. What do the Hokkiens do on the night of 12 An? By Tin Kok. The night of 12 An crossing into Chong Kau is by Tin Kok. Big thing in Hokkien family. Who is Tin Kok? Tin Kok is Sakra, the big boss of the heaven of 33. Now, do you know that the big boss of the heaven of 33 was once a man like you and me? Okay? Just like you and me. But he made 7 vows. And in keeping these 7 vows very strictly, when he died, he was reborn as a dead one. So I always say, don't come back as a ghost, come back as a dead one. Alright? Because what are these 7 vows? So you might think there are 7 great things, No, all 7 are simple things. You just tap them very, very earnestly and diligently. And there you are, written there. Sakra who come, talk to the Buddha, try to learn the Dhamma, and the Buddha, of course, knew how he became Sakra. Next, please. Next, please. He made 7 vows, and the first vow is, as long as I live, may I support my parents. Is that difficult, you think? That's not a difficult vow to keep. It's actually quite an easy vow to keep, isn't it? Alright, it's not that difficult. It may not be financial support, now it's emotional support. Okay, so when they call you at midnight, you have to answer the phone. Next. Now, if you look at all the 7 vows, all 7 vows are secular vows. They are not something ridiculous or miraculous. They're actually very simple things. You can read them yourself. Any one of us can keep these 7 vows. Okay, like you can't keep 7, keep 6 lah. Can't keep 6, keep 5 lah. Maybe lower level, I don't know. Okay, but all the 7 vows that Sakram made are within the capability of any one of us in this room. Okay? Now, I've given the slides to them, so you can get a copy of the slides on them. Okay, them meaning Ariya, Sister Angeline, etc. Next, please. So, the Buddha said there are these 2 people who are very hard to find. First is the person willing to do something kind, and the second one, even more difficult. Somebody who has received kindness and say, you must do something in return to repay that kindness. These 2, the Buddha said, are difficult to find. Next, please. Now, in the Katano Sutta, Katano means gratitude. The Buddha described how difficult it is to repay your parents. And he said, even if you are to make them the king and queen of a country, you have not repaid it. Even if you are to carry them on your shoulder, and then they poo and they pee on you, you still cannot repay them gratitude. And the Buddha concludes that the only way to repay their gratitude is to teach the Dhamma to your parents. Establish them in Sada, faith, establish them in morality, sila, the 5 precepts, establish them in generosity, and establish them in wisdom. I can tell you, sister, it is very, very difficult to teach your parents the Dhamma. Because they say, "What's sick? How can you teach me?" So there are very convenient ways in which we go around. I couldn't teach it to my own parents. How to teach them? Really, he said, "What's sick?" So I'm very sneaky. I invite the Sangha to my house for house dana. And I tell the Sangha, my father is in the house. Afterwards, he will offer, he was always offer, please talk to him, okay? He will listen to the Sangha. Go wear robes, don't listen to me, change my diaper, how to listen to me. But he will listen to the Sangha. So, do that, just do that. You do that a few times, you know what is dana already. You do it a few more times, you know what's puja already. And then after that, every time they come, the monk teach them a little bit. Simple things, dana, sila. That's it. Good enough. You introduce them to the Dhamma. Okay? Alright? Next. So, now, the background of that particular sutta is there's a monk whose parents were very, very poor. And this monk wanted to give the robes that people offered him to his parents. Now, here in Malaysia, we look at the robes like something, wow, very unusual. Wow. See, the robes is just a sari. So, you go to India, 3/4 of the country is wearing them. Okay, it's just a sari, nothing new. Okay, and the color is because that's the color people don't want. Okay? It's just a sari, that's all. So, it's nothing unusual. So, this monk wanted to give his robes to his parents. But yet he was wondering, is that correct? Is that that? Am I doing the right thing? And he asked the Buddha. The Buddha said, yeah, of course, parents are so poor. Please do it. Okay? Next, please. So, in the Vinaya, it says that even for a monk, who 出家 already, if your parents are sick, please go back and take care of them. It is your duty. Okay? Next. Now the Buddha said, wise, establish them in Sada, which is often translated as faith, which should rightly be confidence. Establish them in morality, which is basically the 5 precepts. Establish them in generosity, bring them to the fun fair, food fair that Ariya organizes regularly. Okay? and establish them in wisdom. With this, the Buddha said, you have more than repaid the debt that you owe. So did anyone do this? Next. So helping one's parents in spiritual progress is far more important than helping in material progress. Next. So did anyone manage to do this? Yeah, look at the Buddha's family. Okay? Everyone in his family, with the exception of the biological mother who died within a few days of his birth, became paramount. Okay? So he has more than repaid the debt to his parents. Next, please. Now, in the canon, is everybody nice and good, everybody very quiet and all that? No. There are records of horrible sons as well. And this is just one record which I will ask you to read yourself. It's one record of a Zai, you know. So you please read that yourself. Okay? CURS is the old word for dogs, Ariya dogs. Okay? So the canon is not all about nice sons and nice daughters. It also has records of bad sons and bad daughters. Alright, next. Now, the Buddha compares reverence to parents, etc., as better than the traditional Indian practice of fire worship. You know, they tend to sacred fire or sacrificial fire practiced even today. And the Buddha criticized that as waste of time. And the Buddha said, if you really want to worship fire, I give you 3 fires to worship. Next. And these are the 3 fires. The first, parents. Second, your wife, children, employees, dependents. And third, the religious person. So if you really want to worship fire, worship these 3 fires. Your return will be far, far better. Okay? As I said, he always used the context of his time to teach. He's a very good teacher. Next. Now these are the series of suttas found in the Samyutta Nikaya, 5 of them, in which it is described that everyone that you meet, right now we are all in this room. Why are we all in this room? We have some affinity. Either the affinity is we all want to learn the Dhamma, or we all Buddhists, or that there is some affinity. That is why all of us are in this room. Okay? That's why you are not in one Dhamma. Here. When the Buddha said, every one of these, if you look back, all of them had once in your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your wife, your uncle. You're all related. Everyone. So in helping you, I may be helping my own distant mother or having my own distant daughter, we do not know. Okay? But we are all commonly linked. We are all once been related to each other. Next please. So in the Dhammika Sutta, in the Sutta Nipata, it says that you should rightfully support parents, and please undertake a legitimate business. Don't do some say business, do a legitimate business. Righteous wealth. Righteous wealth is wealth earned without breaking the 5 precepts. Okay? As long as you earn your money without breaking the 5 precepts, that's called righteous wealth. And you use it well. And then you will spend it, use it well for your parents, and you can become a god after you die. So I always say, don't think that after you die you sure become a ghost. I know, not necessarily. You can become a deva, you know. Then you can come back and help us. Okay? Next. Now, in this sutta, the Ariya Sutta, in Anguttara Nikaya, it tells you how you make use of your money after you become very rich. And I always say, as a Buddhist, there's absolutely nothing wrong in becoming rich. Do not think that just because I'm a Buddhist, I cannot earn money, I lie there, just let me die. No, that's completely wrong. Please, do your business, earn as many millions as you can, and support Ariya. Every center needs support. Where do you think the support comes from? Okay, so as long as you've got righteous wealth without breaking the 5 precepts, that's fine. And the Buddha said, after you earn your wealth, how do you use the money? Use it for yourself, buy a nice pair of Skechers, don't wear Bata shoe, you can afford Skechers now. Okay? Spend it on your parents, your worker, your wife, your children, etc. Or your friends, associate, buy insurance, ward off calamities from flood, etc. Modern word is buy insurance. Okay? Now, perform 5 spiritual offerings to relative, guests, the dead, king and devas, and religious donation. Now you notice I wrote the word offerings in red. And that's because it's important. Because here you must know the difference between prayer, puja, and offering. Buddhists do not pray. What is prayer? Prayer is a request from you to that person for something. In a court, for example, your lawyer representing you will tell the judge, I pray, Your Honor, that you will see why my client is innocent, that you will see his point of view. Buddhists do not pray. Buddhists do puja. Puja is not prayer. Puja is respect. We show respect. Now what is offering? Offering is one directionally, no. I offer this in respect. I do not ask for anything in return. Okay? If you ask for anything in return, that's not an offering anymore. That's a business investment. And there's another very interesting sutta which I did not include, in which the Buddha said, everybody on earth wants long life, wants beauty, wants good health, and wants to be reborn in heaven. 4 things he said. Everybody is saying. All want good health, all want beauty. Okay? All want to be reborn in heaven. All. Everyone wants that. Just look around you. Don't you see people dying young, dying old, having all kinds of sickness? I don't have to go into detail. Just look around you and see. You see the opposite. If prayer can work, the Buddha said, none of this you should see. All of them will be beautiful, rich, healthy, all of them. The fact he said that you just look around you, you know that prayer doesn't work. But what did the Buddha offer in return? Cannot say don't work, walk away. That's it, isn't it? The Buddha said, if you want to have good health, you create the conditions for it. You want to have long life, the Buddha said, you create the conditions for it. You want to be healthy, you create the conditions. You want to be reborn in heaven, you create the conditions. Do not expect you to talk from the sky. Ariya, cannot go every day. Oh, let me raise $3 million. They will ask, please drop it from the sky. You think that will happen? It won't happen. You want to raise $3 million? It won't happen. You create the conditions for it. Okay? Next, please. Okay. Now there was this Brahmin who also go around begging, because begging for food is considered an honored thing among the religious community in the Indian culture 2,600 years ago. It's not shameful. Okay? It is something, I stand in front of your house and give you the opportunity to do good. Okay? So this Brahmin's parents are very poor. He actually picked the food, feed his parents. So again he felt, ngam. Ask the Buddha. No issue. Okay. Next please. Okay, now I'm going to talk on something that I hope you all will understand. Because this is a gross misconception among our general public. I told you your duty extends beyond death. Even after I die already, you still have to do something for me. Okay? Next. Alright. We always talk about merits. Okay? Everywhere you hear, oh, this is meritorious. Oh, we share merits. Oh, we dedicate merits. Oh, we transfer merits. You always hear these words being thrown around, used very loosely. So first and foremost, you must understand what is merits. And what is merits? The Pali word for merit is not my name. This is the M with the line on top. My name is different from this, so mine is not merits. Okay? The Pali word is this, punya, and it means a good action, a good deed that you intentionally do. When you intentionally do something good, like you come here, support, actually buy the coupon and raise money, etc., that's punya, that's meritorious. Alright? Now, it is literally an action that you do because it is the correct, the right, the meritorious thing to do. So merit is an act that you do. Merit is not a bank account, People tend to think, oh, I come support Ariya in this, then in one bank account somewhere I got a celestial accountant that will mark, you got 5 points. That is not what the Buddha taught. When you do a meritorious deed, is to purify your mind. Okay, all meritorious deeds are aimed to purify your mind, not go the other direction. Let me give you an example. Bodhidharma was a very eminent monk when he came to China. The emperor of China at the time, Liang Wuti, was a very devout Buddhist emperor. In fact, it is because of Liang Wuti that Mahayana Buddhists are vegetarian. Chinese lineage Mahayana Buddhists are vegetarian. Not because the Vinaya say so, but because Liang Wuti made an imperial edict which says all temples that I support must be vegetarian. So that's why you will see there are some Mahayana Buddhists which are not vegetarian because they did not come from the Chinese lineage. So Liang Wuti asked to meet Bodhidharma because Bodhidharma was such a famous monk. Okay? So when Liang Wuti met Bodhidharma, he asked Bodhidharma, I had given so much land, I had donated so much, I had allowed so many people to be ordained, blah, 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 along this. How much merits do I have? You know what was Bodhidharma's answer? None whatsoever. Kosong. Lilek, kosong. For which, of course, Liang Wuti was shocked. He expected that Bodhidharma would say, "Wah, Kongde Wuyang Wang Sang Ho." Because all the Chinese ones would tell him that, say, "Kongde Wuyang." Bodhidharma was not there to please. Bodhidharma was there to tell the divinity. None, he said. Because as long as Liang Wuti has this idea in his mind, see what a great king I am, see how much merit I have, see what a good, great man I am. He did not purify his mind, his mind went in the opposite direction, his ego became even bigger. There was no merit whatsoever. In Chinese, it is very specific. What Liang Wuti did has got good returns. You will have folk. You will have lots of material returns. But it does not have Om, which is to purify your mind. Get it, sister? So merits are what all of us do when we do good things, but you mustn't think of it like a bank account in the sky. I'm very rich, I have a lot of merits. You cannot think of it that way. Because it is to make your ego become smaller, not become bigger. Okay? And you cannot think what I have done and divide it among you. Next, please. So this is what the Buddha taught. I'm the owner of my karma, I'm the heir of my karma, born of my karma. Yingling will understand that statement, born of my karma. What you are in your next life. What is reborn? What makes you reborn? It's your karma. For action now. Okay, etc. I'm sure you are familiar with this line, and the Buddha said you must always remember this. You cannot pass your karma to another person. Okay? It is yours and yours alone. Next. So, please read this yourself. Alright? So since karma is an action, merits are the result of actions, you cannot divide it like a pizza and say, "Ni can, I can." You can't. Okay? But we often do this, isn't it? Every time we say share marriage, transfer marriage, it's just an English expression. It sounds very nice, but in reality, what does it mean? Next. In the Nikayas, there is no such thing as sharing of Dhamma. Now, then, does it work? Someone who passed away, let's say, again, my father-in-law, can I do something good and say, please marriage me and help them? Yes, it can. But there are a few conditions, the Buddha said. First condition, he must be aware. So if he's a ghost looking around, yeah, he's aware. And he said, well done, Yinling. I'm so happy my grandchild can do something for me. Yinling's grandmother passed away. So you should do something good. Well done. I'm so happy my granddaughter has this maturity to do something. And she is aware. And we always say what? At the end, Anumodana. You must rejoice in this good deed that we are doing on your behalf. So what if Yinling's grandmother say, sorry, you can take my money, go and buy all these things, go and buy, sword or what? Do you think she will have any merits? Zero. So first she must be aware. And second, she must rejoice. So when she's aware and she rejoices, what is she actually doing in Buddhist terms? Mudita. Remember? Metta, Kamuna, Mudita, Viveka. She is actually creating her own merits. Mudita. And that is why we say Anumodana. Please rejoice. You see, I got no bell here to ring. Traditionally, whenever we give a Dhamma talk, when we start, we will ring a bell. So that's to invite the devas and the unseen beings to come and share in this Dhamma sharing. At the end, we dedicate merits. So if they can see it, they know it, they rejoice, they create their own merits. So did Punna Wong say that? Or is there something in the Nikayas that the Buddha said in regards to this? Of course, now we are living in an age of evidence-based medicine. Everything you say, you must have evidence. No evidence, please don't say it. Next, please. So this is why I just told you, Mudita, Anumodana, okay? And the Sutta, next. Okay, in the Kaladana Sutta, the Buddha said that those who are unable to but witness and rejoice in it, they create their own merits. So our merit cannot be divided and say, I give to you. They create their own merits in seeing my wife offering robes to the Mahasangha and dedicating it to the Father. Okay? Next. And this is the sutta. The one in red is where I want to point out to you. Okay, as I said, I've given a PowerPoint to them, so you can actually get it, go back and look up every sutta that I mentioned yourself. Next, please. Now, when we then say that I share my merits or I transfer my merits, actually you do not do that. So don't worry, your merits will not become less. It is the same. Okay, it is just a thought. And they create their own merits. Okay, because are very important. If you ever believe that I can transfer my good merits to you, then I tell you when I die, I make sure I transfer all my bad merits to everyone in this room also. All the bad karma better transfer away. Right? So you got to think of it. Next, please. So this is from Bhante Agachita in his book, Offerings to Honor the Dead, and he basically tells the same thing. In the Nikayas, he said you cannot find anything on sharing or transferring. What you can find is dedication of merits. And what I was sharing with you all. Next, please. So, last night somebody asked, then what about offer food and all that? So do you offer food, Yinling? Do you offer food to grandmother that day? It's very important. Why? Just in case she became a ghost. If she became a deva, no need to offer, but the thing is you and I don't know. Okay? We don't know. So if they become born as a ghost, yes, then your offerings are important. So that's why in Chinese culture, very smart, You look at the tablet, it doesn't mention name, It just mentioned Wong, which means everybody in that big huge clan. Because this is exactly what the Buddha taught. The Buddha said, you dedicate all relatives, all unseen beings, not specifically by name to one because you do not know. Okay? Clear? Next place. So the Buddha actually said for those who body break up, etc., and then they go into the realm of hungry spirits, hungry ghosts, they will benefit. Okay? Next. Now in the Janusoni Sutta, this fellow is a businessman. Very smart businessman. So he does lots of offerings. And then he came to see the Buddha, and being a businessman, he want to check with the Buddha, all these offerings I make, do they really get it or not? So you see, he's a nice businessman. If you don't get it, don't waste my time and money. But if you get it, I want to continue. But what did the Buddha answer? Standard medical response, it depends. That's what we always taught in medical school. All standard medical response to any medical question, it depends. Okay, so that's exactly what the Buddha said. It depends. If the fellow has the opportunity, can. If no opportunity, cannot. So what are these opportunities? Next. If the person is reborn as a ghost, of course, all your offerings. Okay? But as I told you, next time, sister, don't come back as a ghost. The best is become enlightened. But if you must come back as a deva. Come back as a human also very difficult nowadays, If you're going to release all that radioactive tritium into the Pacific Ocean, you got no food to eat, fish also cannot eat. So I believe coming back as a human also very suicide in the next 30 years. Okay? So, yes, next. Then the Buddha went on and said, next. If you are born as a hell being, that only. But I don't think anyone in this room will be born as a hell being. You're all nice people, why would you be born in a hell being? The only thing you kill is a chicken, Kong Kai, I don't think you kill anything more than that. Nowadays, don't just go to hypermarket buy. Okay? Those who do very bad things and become reborn as animals, Those who become human in somebody's womb, of course, you won't receive anything. And those who become born as devas, do not need to receive it. And when we offer, they feel honored. Now, did the Buddha say about making the devas honored by offering? There are plenty of sutras which talks about that. Next. So, in this Patakama Sutta, also Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said you make offerings. I tell you, offering one way, one direction. You make offering to your living relatives, your guests, your departed relatives, pay your income tax for heaven's sake, and you make offerings to the devas. Okay, next please. Now you're all familiar with the Ratana Sutta. In the Ratana Sutta, it begins by saying, these people make regular offerings to the devas. Please, these devas, help them in their times of difficulty. Next please. Now in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the Buddha advised us to make offerings to virtuous monks and then dedicate these offerings to the devas as well. That's why you see at the end we always say Sabe Sata, Sabe Deva. We dedicate them to all these things. Okay? In this we want all listed already. Everyone. Sabe Sata, Sabe Duta, Sabe Deva, Sabe everything. Acharya, teacher also. I repeat to the men in this room, the Buddha said to everyone, Sabe Satta Bhavantu Sukhi Tata. May all beings be happy and well. No exclusion clause. The Buddha didn't say, may all beings, except my mother-in-law, be happy and well. No exclusion clause. May all beings. Sabe Satta Bhavantu Sukhi Tata. May all beings be happy and well. Okay? Including fearing old lady or pigs. Dedication of marriage can reach even the devas who benefit are disordered. Okay? Next please. That's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Punya, for such an enlightening Dhamma talk. So, any questions here? Any questions for?
Dr. Punya, just now you mentioned offerings of foods to the ancestor. You say those born in ghosts benefited. What do you mean by that? Mean they come to taste it?
If you go back to that slide, the Buddha said that in that sutta, the Buddha gave very detailed answers. Go back some more. All the way to my ancestor. Okay. Okay, that's my father, that's my mother. Okay? And if you go one more slide back, is it forward? Sorry, one more slide forward. Yeah, that's right. The Buddha talks about the physical sustenance in each realm. They say, okay, you and I are human beings in this realm. We have sustenance by our food, etc. Then he talks about the sustenance of beings in the hell realm, the sustenance of beings in the heavenly realms, and he talks about the sustenance of beings in the realm of Gosla. Okay? And he lives there, he remains there, by whatever his friends or relatives give him dedication with him. This is the possible place for the gift to accrue to one staying there. Okay, and in another sutta, I think, this is the one, the Tirukutta Sutta, where the Buddha actually specifically mentioned about offering of food. Okay, now, these people in the ghostly realm, as I told you, is around. I am sure every one of you heard stories of certain yogis who practice meditation and they are able to see. Well, some people were born that way. I know a girl who's born that way. So she said to me, it's nothing new from the day I could remember, I could see. Okay? And they are around. If you take the Buddha's word for it, they sustain themselves by the offerings that are given, including food that you offer. And the question people always ask is, do they literally eat them? I can't answer you that because I'm not there. Okay? Some people will say they smell them, etc. To me, all that is speculation. I would not know. But what I do know, and I can tell you, is what one Ajahn taught me, the forest monk taught me quite a few years ago. What do the Chinese offer on the 7th month? The Thais don't offer on the 7th month. The Thais offer, I think, in the 10th month. Different culture have different months. That's alright, it's cultural. Okay? But the Chinese culturally 7th lunar month. So why do we offer at the roadside? Well, it's very interesting. And that's because Chongyong is something long, long ago practiced by the Chinese for thousands of years. Okay? But why do the Chinese in overseas Chinese community offer at the roadside? That is unique. Okay? The actual practice of Chongyong is very old, it's at least 1,000-2,000 years old. But the offering at the roadside is unique to overseas Chinese community. How many of you know that in the late 1800s and early 1900s, your ancestors who came from China to Malaysia, every 4 of them who came, in 2 years, 2 will be dead. The mortality was very high. So, and they were all men. The women were left behind. So, they make promises to each other. If you die, I will bury you. And that's why all the clan associations came up. Okay, you can Hong Xiu, Wei all kinds of Wei because that's where they came from in China. And they say you put your tablet in Hong Xiu Wei okay, or Chen Ga Wei Alright? And the question, what if you also die? What if both of us die? Oh, don't worry. Our pledge is even if both of us die, our living descendants will continue to offer. And what about all those with no living descendants? Many of them came here in their, I don't know, my grandfather came when he was probably 18, 19 years old. If he had died, he would have no descendants. And they say, oh, don't worry, even if you have no descendants, we will offer. So where do you offer? Roadside. That's why you do not specify names. You just offer at the roadside. To order, that's a Chinese word, Hao Shong Di. Who are these Hao Shong Di? Those who came from China together. So we have a very interesting history. I hope that's not lost in our history. Because after a while, people forget and treat it as a superstition, not realizing that we are here because of their sacrifices. So this brother, we offer food, tea. Now to be very frank with you, why we offer the siu mai and the long mai kai and the pao, it's because I like siu mai, long mai kai and the pao. You know, we Chinese very pragmatic people, no waste one. After offer, Apa Ama sit down, was it no way, my own parents eat, what's the big deal after I eat, they'll be very happy. So we are very pragmatic people. My cousins in KL, and they offer, they buy Kentucky. Because they like Kentucky, so no need to cook, they say just buy Kentucky. But jokes aside, Ajahn Chakat actually did explain to us why is it that the Chinese go and buy song ko, fat ko, and all that. He said it's because the hungry ghosts are familiar with the food of that era. Then you go and buy Wendy's burger. Your great grandmother never even seen Wendy's burger in her life. What is this? Alright, but they like fat ko, pak kong ko, so ko, all these are what they are familiar with. Alright, brother? Alright, good. So please continue. Offer your favorite food.
Any more questions from the floor? Any more? Okay, with that, we come to the end of the Dhamma sharing. And once again, thank you so much for participating in this Dhamma